Thank you for joining with me. We are in A Course in Miracles, Foundation for Inner Peace. This is the third edition. We are on section 5, the dynamics of the ego. This is a very long section, so we'll be breaking it up into 3 days. And today we will be reading paragraphs 1 through 6. If you'd like to close your eyes and join me in prayer. Dear Father, please enable me an open mind for a new experience. Please help me to set aside everything I think I know. Help me to be who you would have me be, do what you would have me do, go where you would have me go, and say what you would have me say, and to whom. And so it is. Section 5, the dynamics of the ego. No one can escape from illusions unless he looks at them, for not looking is the way they are protected. There is no need to shrink from illusions, for they cannot be dangerous. We are ready to look more closely at the ego's thought system because together we have the lamp that will dispel it, and since you realize you do not want it, you must be ready. Let us be very calm in doing this, for we are merely looking honestly for truth. The dynamics of the ego will be our lesson for a while, for we must look first at this to see beyond it, since you have made it real. We will undo this error quietly together, then look beyond it to truth. What is healing but the removal of all that stands in the way of knowledge, and how else can one dispel illusions except by looking at them directly without protecting them? Be not afraid, therefore, for what you will be looking at is the source of fear, and you are beginning to learn that fear is not real. You are also learning that its effects can be dispelled merely by denying their reality. The next step is obviously to recognize that what has no effects does not exist. Laws do not operate in a vacuum, and what leads to nothing has not happened. If reality is recognized by its extension, what leads to nothing could not be real. Do not be afraid, then, to look upon fear, for it cannot be seen. Clarity undoes confusion by definition, and to look upon darkness through light must dispel it. Let us begin this lesson in ego dynamics by understanding that the term itself does not mean anything. It contains the very contradiction in terms that makes it meaningless. Dynamics implies the power to do something, and the whole separation fallacy lies in the belief that the ego has power to do anything. The ego is fearful to you because you believe this, yet the truth is very simple. All power is of God. What is not of Him has no power to do anything. When we look at the ego, then, we are not considering dynamics, but delusions. You can surely regard a delusional system without fear, for it cannot have any effects if its source is not real. Fear becomes obviously inappropriate if you recognize the ego's goal, which is so clearly senseless that any effort on its behalf is necessarily expended on nothing. The ego's goal is quite explicitly ego autonomy. From the beginning, then, its purpose is to be separate, sufficient unto itself, and independent of any power except its own. This is why it is the symbol of separation. Every idea has a purpose, and its purpose is always the natural outcome of what it is. Everything that stems from the ego is the natural outcome of its central belief, and the way to undo its results is merely to recognize that their source is not natural, being out of accord with your true nature. I said before that to will contrary to God is wishful thinking and not real willing. His will is one because the extension of His will cannot be unlike itself. The real conflict you experience then is between the ego's idle wishes and the will of God which you share. Can this be a real conflict? Yours is the independence of creation, not of autonomy. Your whole creative function lies in your complete dependence on God, whose function He shares with you. By His willingness to share it, He became as dependent on you as you are on Him. Do not ascribe the ego's arrogance to Him who wills not to be independent of you. He has included you in His autonomy. Can you believe that autonomy is meaningful apart from Him? The belief in ego autonomy is costing you the knowledge of your dependence on God, in which your freedom lies. The ego sees all dependency as threatening and has twisted even your longing for God into a means of establishing itself. But do not be deceived by its interpretation of your conflict. And we're going to go ahead and stop there in this section 5, the dynamics of the ego. Let's go ahead and move into a meditation. Sit with your back supported, head and neck free. Let's start with a 2x breath, in through the nose for a count of 2, out through the mouth for a count of 4, and let's do this 3 times. Then let's move into a 3x breath, in for a count of 3, out for a count of 6. God's peace and joy are mine. Let me be still and listen to the truth. God's peace and joy are mine. Let me be still and listen to the truth.
And on your next inhale, really letting it be a big, delicious inhale, filling your lungs to their full capacity. And when you get to the top of this inhale, float there for just a moment. And exhaling all the way to empty. And when you get to the bottom of that exhale, that space between. And now we'll inhale for 4. The biggest inhale we've taken all week. Floating there at the top for just a moment. And as we exhale for 8, allowing our lungs to collapse, allowing that breath to just fall out of the lungs. Your next inhale, imagining this breath and energy coming in through the base of the spine. And as you fill your lungs, this breath and energy travels up your spine. And as you exhale, you send this breath and energy out into your life, into your dreams, into the life you want to create. Really good. And now you can soften the breath, just letting it be easy and natural. And we'll gently bring our awareness to our sense of hearing. So listening for all the sounds you can detect. And when sounds happen during your meditation, just letting them pass through you like water. Imagining it as a vibratory wave, which it is, and allow it to just permeate your body. Really good. And now bringing your awareness to your sense of touch. Noticing your bum in the chair, the breath as it enters and exits your nostrils, your clothes against your skin. And now seeing what you're seeing. The blackness, the light streaming through your eyelids. Perhaps you see colors in your mind's eye. There's no right or wrong way. You're just bringing your awareness to your sense of sight. And now taste what you're tasting. Can you taste your toothpaste or your mouthwash? Is your mouth acidic or dry? Is it simply the absence of taste? And now taking an inhale and really smell what you're smelling. What can you smell right now in this room, in this moment? And now having a bit of fun, stacking these senses on top of each other. So hear what we're hearing. Feel what we're feeling. See what we're seeing, taste what we're tasting, and smell what we're smelling. Noticing how many of your senses you can hold in your awareness at the same time, like we're pulling the lens back on our awareness. And one final time, waking up your sense of hearing, touch, sight, taste, and smell. Grounding yourself firmly in your body in the right now. And from this space of present moment awareness, we can gently surrender into the meditation. Starting with just the faint intention to meditate. Just the intention to think the mantra will start to be enough. Remembering that the less effort you use with it, the more powerful it is. Letting it float gently in the background of your mind. We're not focusing, we're not concentrating, we're not controlling the tempo. We're trusting that just like the thoughts are floating in innocently, the thought that we're off the mantra will also happen innocently. And that's our cue to gently float back to it. Giving yourself full permission to take it as it comes. Allowing this to be simple and innocent. And don't mind the time. So let's keep the eyes closed, but we'll let go of the mantra inside. Like we're cutting the cord to an anchor, gently bringing our awareness into the body, into the right now. And we'll use this space between, this relaxed, least excited state of awareness, to start to imagine our dreams as if they are our current reality. So we'll move into the manifesting, and I invite you to think of one dream, one desire, one goal that really lights you up. Something that feels exciting to you. And you don't have to worry too much about picking the exact right goal, because our desires are changing all the time, and you can do a different desire each time you meditate. But just what feels most charming, what feels most inspiring right now in this moment in time. So picking one dream, one desire, one goal, and then allowing your imagination to have some fun, allowing your imagination to run wild, and really picturing yourself inside of this reality as if it's happening right now. And you can use your 5 senses as part of this. What does it look like, this reality? What does it sound like? More importantly, what does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? But really get that feeling of this dream in your bones, in your cells. Where are you? What are you wearing? Who's with you? How much money do you have in your bank account? How did you get to this place? What mode of transportation brought you here? Who did you call the moment that this dream became a reality? And what did it feel like to share the news with them? Just really allowing all of that joy, all of that excitement to bubble up inside of you. Knowing that you're allowing your cells to vibrate on the same frequency as these desires. And knowing that you accomplishing your dreams isn't selfish. You're not going to leave anyone behind. As you step into your full potential, you inspire others to do the same. So the beautiful thing about your imagination is that it isn't limited by time or money or other people. So I want you to imagine this as your magic wand scenario. It's the big, fat, scary dream. Imagine that as if it's your current reality. Giving yourself permission to really luxuriate in this reality. And taking a big, delicious inhale. Breathing this in as if it is true. And exhaling, letting go of anything that isn't serving this dream. And again, taking a big, delicious inhale, breathing in this reality as if it's happening now. And exhaling. And just for fun, let your dream bring a big old smile to your face, the biggest, toothiest Julia Roberts grin you've ever had in your whole life. Breathe that smile into your whole body. Smile with your liver, and then exhale, letting go of anything that isn't serving you. Really good.
Today I will accept God's peace and joy in glad exchange for all the substitutes that I have made for happiness and peace. Let my own feeble voice be still, and let me hear the mighty voice for truth itself assure me that I am God's perfect Son. I happily accept God's peace and joy to the extent I set aside my feeble voice that speaks only of separation, specialness, and death. Now I hear the mighty voice for truth remind me that I am God's Son, perfect as He is perfect. And in that remembrance, I am at peace at last. God's peace and joy are mine. Let me be still and listen to the truth. I love you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for joining with me. I will see you and join with you tomorrow.